latest in tech suit innovation. The Tier Vinzo utilizes frictionless fiber construction, surface lift technology, endo compression cage, seamless exo shell, Tier Vinzo, Battleborn.
So a very good Glaswegian afternoon to you if you are watching now live on YouTube. Our stream just starting for this mini session of 800 meters freestyle for gentlemen, originally, or traditionally at least, a female event up until a few years ago when it's been instated now as an Olympic event for both genders. So both the men and the women compete in an 800, and both the men and the women compete in the 1500. So this heat one of the men's 800 freestyle here at the British Summer Championships 2019. Currently in the pool, in lane 2, Lewis Cottam for Stockport Metro. In 3, Sean McCann for the City of Leicester. In 4, Rico Bridgman for Boston. And in lane 5, Alexander Cooper for Wickham District. All of these swimmers competing in the 13, 14 years age category. Alexander Cooper in lane 5. The only 13-year-old. And also neglected to mention in lane 6 there, Max Shaw, representing the city of Milton Keynes. So Max Shaw, City Milton Keynes, has led throughout the opening stages of this 800 metres, approaching halfway now. Enters the meet at a time of 9 minutes 9.07. And despite the fact that the two swimmers in the golden lanes in the centre there entering on 9 minutes 6, he's well ahead in these opening stages. Coming up for 4 lengths to go. Bell's on the next length. Max Shaw does enter this event at PB pace, set that PB at the Southeast Championships back in May. It's 9:09:07, that time that he'll be trying to beat. Alexander Cooper from Wickham District giving him a bit of a race now in lane 5, starting to pull it a little bit closer to him, just 0.6 separating the two swimmers after that turn. Alexander Cooper's PB is approximately 3 seconds quicker, so we would be expecting a better swim from Cooper potentially, or maybe less good a swim from Max Shaw. Maybe it's all positive news. We'll have more of an idea after the next 2 lengths as these swimmers turn for the final time at this side. Bells ringing, turning pretty much together, just 0.09 separating these two. Remember, they are in the same age group, so it is a direct race between them. Alexander Shaw in 5, the younger of the two swimmers, at only 13 years old. Or at least swimming at these championships as a 13-year-old. Final turn then for these lads. What's the difference going to be? Ooh. Cooper ahead now, lane 5 ahead of lane 6 as the boys make their way on to the final length. Breathing towards each other down this final straight. They can see where the other swimmer is. Does Max Shaw have enough left to push through? I don't think so. I think Alexander Cooper has timed this perfectly and has really pushed where required. Remember, coming into this, 9:06 was the time that he had to beat. He comes in and touches in a time of 8:51.84. Look at that, absolutely smashing his PB, as does Max Shaw, who comes in second 8:53.10. Sean McCann comes in there next in lane number 3, 9:01.82. Gives him a nice little personal best as well. Concluding heat 1 and moving us on to heat number 2. Underway with heat 2 of the men's 800 metres freestyle. It's running for our swimmers. In lane 0, Joshua O'Brien for the City of Cardiff. In 1, Liam Dawson for Nova Centurion. Lane 2 is Cameron Carlo for Barnet Copthall. In 3, David Allen for Black Lion. Lane 4 is Tyler Melbourne Smith for the City of Liverpool. Lane 5 is Reece Grady for Stockport Metro. In 6, Luke Critchlow for the same club. In lane 7, William Baines for Borough of Stockton. Borough of Stockholm will be a very different place indeed. Lane 8 is Oliver Burns for Wolverhampton, and lane 9 is Ben Merriman for Toffane Dolphins. Once again, all of these lads in the same age category, 14 years old. All with the same birth year. Although both Tyler Melbourne Smith, Joshua O'Brien and Cameron Carlos, yet to turn 14. Currently, a nice little lead. Liam Dawson of Nova Centurion in lane 1. He comes into this competition on a time of 9 minutes, 0.96, but he does have more in him. In fact, he did achieve a better time earlier this year. 8 minutes, 54.14, his personal best. And that's also his best time this year. So he's set that before the qualifying window opened in March. That does happen often in these 800-metre events. One of the few opportunities these swimmers get to swim the 800 and 1500 is, of course, the county championships, which take place in January and February across the country. So given this PB is 6 seconds quicker than his entry time, it's quite expected that he leads throughout the early stages of this race. approaching the 500 meter mark now. For our leader, Liam Dawson, in lane 1 of Nova Centurion. Elsewhere in the pool for you, currently have lane 7 and lane 4 in around second place. William Baines of Borough of Stockton, that is in 7. Tyler Melbourne-Smith of the City of Liverpool in lane 4. Quick glance up there for Liam Dawson to check how many lengths he's got left. The plaque says 5. So 5 more he shall swim. Very nice even pace from Liam Dawson. Very consistent stroke, doesn't seem to be tiring at all. With 200 meters to go. But he is a good 15 meters ahead of the rest of the pool at the moment. I think he should be in for a very good swim indeed. And as I said, it doesn't seem to be showing any signs of slowing down. And I hear a bell start to ding. There we go. Liam Dawson has his bell for 2 lengths to go. Next for a bell is going to be lane 4. That's Tyler Melbourne-Smith. Lane 7 and lane 5 also have ringing in their ears as we build up to the final 100 meters of Heat 2 of the men's 800. For the split. That'll give him 50 seconds. As long as he swims this length in less than 50 seconds, then Liam Dawson is on track for a PB here. 50 meter swim in 50 seconds. I think he'll manage it. 10 meters to go then for Liam Dawson before he touches first in the second heat of the 800. 8 minutes, 36.61 he finishes in, which is a huge PB from him. As I said, 8:54.14 was the time he'd set before. Tyler Melbourne-Smith comes in second, 8:56.28. That's over 10 seconds off his. And then Reese Grady, 8:47.46. Again, a 10-second PB for Reese in lane 5. Good swims indeed there. Moving on to heat number 3. Heat number 3 underway in the men's 800 freestyle. Lane 0, Joseph Stout for the City of Salford. Lane 1, Caden Wellesby for Stockport Metro. In lane 2, we've got Thomas Curry for Northampton. Lane 3, Ben Wright for Doncaster. In lane 4, Noah Jameson Neal for Basildon and Phoenix. In 5, Henry Moore for Southport. Lane 6 is Thomas Owens of Uni of Bath. In 7, Archie Hawkins for Fanet Swim. In lane 8, Caden Edwards for City of Cardiff. And lane 9 is John Taylor for the Uni of Aberdeen Performance. Early leader in the race is Henry Moore of Southport. Again, I can give you some ages of these swimmers as well. 15-year-olds generally in the middle of the pool. With lanes 2 through to lanes 5, Thomas Curry, Ben Wright, Noah Jameson Neal, Henry Moore are all 15 years old, as are the 2 outside lanes. On the far side, as you look at it, that's Caden Edwards and John Taylor. Then 14-year-olds in lanes 0 and 1, Joseph Stout, Caden Wellesby, as well as Archie Hawkins in lane 7. Thomas Owens in lane 6, 20-year-old swimmer from Bath University, so he's obviously competing in the 19 years and over category. Just having a look at the personal bests here. Quickest PB of the lot is, as probably expected, Thomas Owens in lane 6. He has before clocked 8:43.9. But then this is on the time that he's gone, the quickest time that he's done this year. That's 8:52.83 for him. Continuing to lead at the moment, though, is lane 4. That's Noah Jameson Neal for Basildon Phoenix. Lovely bright orange caps of Basildon. Always spot a Basildon swimmer alongside the crowd. I think also Hutteridge have orange caps. Remember, of course, still running our competition on Twitter, hashtag SummerChamps19. Tell us how many miles our swimmers swam this morning. That is not including the 800s and not including the relays. But if you add up all of the meters swum in all of the heats across the morning, how many miles were swum? Change of leader at the halfway point there then. Caden Edwards for the City of Cardiff. Turning first. 4:19.30 gives him his halfway time. Not a lot in it between lanes 8 and 4 at the moment. Noah Jameson, Neil Basden Phoenix in 4. Caden Edwards, City of Cardiff in lane number 8. Those two are in the same age group, both 15 years of age. Although lane 7, Archie Hawkins, who's now trying to pull himself into the mix, is in the age group below, 14 years for him. Caden Edwards over first this time. Archie Hawkins is over second. Noah Jameson Neil now slips into third place. Of course, the more important race of the two is going on between 4 and 8. Whereas Archie Hawkins, lane 7, is racing the clock more than he's racing anybody else. That time it was Noah Jameson Neil over first, though. Which one of these three is going to make it to the wall first? Still one more turn at this end to go, one more turn at that end to go. Almost every turn now, chopping and changing between lane 7 and lane 4. That time, Archie Hawkins in 7 took the lead, and these swimmers really turning it on now. 100 metres of everything that is left to conclude this 800-metre swim for these boys. As I said before, with these long-distance events, this is mind over matter. This is all about telling yourself that you do have something else to give, and you are going to give it. Noah Jameson Neil ahead on that one, so switched again. Lane 4 beating lane 7. Can Caden Edwards pull back into the race at all as well? 25 metres to go for these swimmers, and it is pretty much neck and neck between Archie Hawkins in 7 and Noah Jameson Neil in lane 4. As we approach the final few metres, it does look like Noah Jameson Neil is going to take it without too much trouble. And he comes. There we go. Final time, 8:41.86 for Noah Jameson Neil. That is a PB of over 10 seconds for him. Coming in second, Archie Hawkins, 8:42.88. Again, more than 10 seconds, or beating his personal best by more than 10 seconds. And Caden Edwards of the City of Cardiff in lane 8 comes in third, 8:44.28. As we move to heat number 4. On to heat number 4 then. Men's 800 freestyle at the British Summer Championships, live from Tollcross International Swimming Centre in Glasgow. Relatively large turnout, and it stands here for an 800-metre event, which is always lovely to see. These, of course, real tests of endurance. Not so much the 1500 was yesterday, but 800 still a way to go. leading us off in this race. Then lane 0, Joshua Weston from Wickham District. In 1, Mount Kelly have James Bartley. Lane 3 belongs to Samuel Murray of Crawley. In 4, Daniel Kennedy for the City of Leicester. In lane 5, Matthew Wright for the Uni of Bath. Lane 6, Matthew Woodall for the City of Sheffield. Lane 7 is Mason Bland for Kingston upon Hull. In lane 8, Hubert Gnick for Plymouth Leander. And in lane 9, Samuel Ridgely for Dulwich Dolphins. Early lead coming from lane 5. So that's Matthew Wright of the Uni of Bath. 21 years of age, oldest competitor in this heat. The only other swimmer in his age group, Samuel Murray, in lane 3. Everybody else, other than James Bartley of Mount Kelly, who's in 1, he's 16. But everybody other than those guys are 15. So 15-year-olds in lane 2, lane 4, and then lane 6, 7, 8, and 9. All 15-year-old swimmers, all competing to increase their ranking within Britain and to see where they can place themselves at these British Summer Championships. Approaching the 400-metre mark now then. Evened up a little bit between the two centre lanes. Daniel Kennedy for Matthew Wright in 5, I think. No. Daniel Kennedy executing his turn that little bit earlier there. Although Matthew Wright still in the lead. Matthew Woodall chasing though, trying to bring himself into contention. Remember, Matthew Wright kind of in between the race that's actually going on. The race that is between lanes 4, and lane 6. With both Daniel Kennedy 4, Matthew Woodall 6 being in the same age category. Also, look at this from lane 0. Joshua Weston of Wickham District starting to try and bring himself into the competition. As Matthew Woodall edges himself into the leading position now. Turning there for 500 metres. 3 to go. 200 metres left for these lads then. And Matthew Woodall leading the pack for the City of Sheffield in lane number 6. Early lead came from Matthew Wright at Bath University, but he's dropped back a little bit now. These youngsters sometimes do have that little bit more to give in these events. Of course, all kinds of science behind that. Of lactic acid production. As you get older, your body produces more lactic acid, makes it more difficult to swim for longer periods of time and to do these distance events. Unless, of course, you do lots of lactic acid resistance training, as I'm sure most of these guys do. Matthew Woodall approaching his official, bell in hand. Matthew Woodall really starting to turn it on now in lane 6. He enters this event on his personal best, 8:48.68. So he must have swum that time since March of this year. Is he going to beat it now? Ten metres left. Also, I haven't mentioned as much. Maybe I ought. Joshua Weston in lane 0 for Wickham District. Looks set to come in third position in this heat. So here we go then. 5 metres to go. Matthew Woodall is going to take this heat. He touches in a time of 8:38.27, smashing his PB by over 10 seconds there. Second is Daniel Kennedy, 8:42 dead. Also a personal best time from him. And Joshua Weston down in lane 0. He comes third, 8:43.73. Again, PB from him too. So PB's all round in heat number 4. We move on to heat number 5. Underway with heat number 5 then of the men's 800 metres freestyle at the British Summer Championships 2019. Marshall Ellingworth goes in lane 0 on this one. He's representing the city of Glasgow here. Representing the city of Glasgow in the city of Glasgow. Thomas Defanes for Tigers goes in lane 1. Ethan Sutcliffe for the city of Leeds is in 2. Lane 3 is Joey Tippin for the city of Leicester. Lane 4, Aaron Priest for Nova Centurion. 5, Thomas Treblecook for Truro City. In 6, Joshua Skinner for Nova Centurion. Lane 7 is Joshua Fowles for Whitland Dolphins. Northampton have Sam Blackett in lane 8, and lane 9 is Elijah Kendrick for Shiverers. Turning first at 200 metres. Thomas Defiance for Tigers. 2 minutes 3.75. Very respectable 200 split. Very respectable 200 split and an individual, even more respectable considering it is a split in an 800 and that there's still 600 metres to go. Of course, leader Thomas Defiance won the 1500 2 days ago in the 15 years age group. He's at gold. So really managed to do the same again in the 800. Turning for halfway there, 400 metres. Race now being led by Joey Tippin in lane 3, representing the city of Leicester. Over second, Joshua Skinner of Nova Centurion. He's swimming in lane 6. Third at halfway, Thomas Defiance. 15 years, 1500 metre champion. This race now starting to really be dominated by 2 swimmers. That's Joshua Skinner of Nova Centurion in 6, and the guy that's just about to turn, there we go, Joey Tippin in lane 3. They are in the same age group, those guys, both 16 years of age. Joe Tipping continuing to lead out of the 2 of these at this stage. Currently sitting fairly nicely in 3rd is lane 1. Thomas Defiance, mentioned him a few times. And also Sam Blackett sitting in 4th in lane 8, who I think is going to put himself into 3rd very shortly. Leader of this, Joey Tippin, came in 5th in the 1500. Joshua Skinner came in 7th. Be interesting to see where these two end up then. Officials approach the deck with the bells. So let the swimmers know 2 lengths to go. Of course, counting to 16 can be difficult when you're swimming, so we give them a little help out with the bells and the cards at the other end. No doubt about this now, though, that Joey Tippin is going to finish this heat first. He enters the competition on a season best of 8:43.96, with his personal best being exactly a second quicker than that. And I tell you what, he's definitely on track to beat that here. 15 metres to go. Sam Blackett still going strong in lane 8 as well. Expecting Joshua Skinner to come in second. So there we are, first in, 8:29.77 for Joey Tippin. Well over 10 seconds off his personal best there. Great swim from him. Joshua Skinner comes in second, 8:33.80. Again, large PB for him. Samuel Blackett coming in third, and he gets a personal best too. As we move on to heat number 6. Here we go then, heat number 6 of the men's 800 meters freestyle. And lane 4 currently in the lead. Bailey Hairstein, that is, of City of Manchester Aquatics. He turns first at 200 metres. Over second was Isaac Dodds. And I'll intro you to all the swimmers as well. In 0, Thomas Sansom for Wickham District. In 1, Nova Centurion have Joseph Sadler. Liam Snook of Northampton goes in lane 2. In 3, Joseph Kingsland for Nova Centurion. Lane 4 is Bailey Hairstein for the City of Manchester. In 5, Lewis Binning for Basildon. Lane 6 is Isaac Dodd for Tigers in 7. Oscar Prizeman for Winchester. Lane 8 is Joshua Vance for Northampton. And lane 9 is Joseph Dobb for Bromley. Hersey continuing to lead. Almost the oldest swimmer in this race, not quite though. Liam Snook in 2 wins that accolade, 21 years old. Bailey Hersey set 20, both swimming in the 19 years and over category, of course. And the only other swimmer in this heat in with them then is Joseph Dobb of Bromley in 9. And 16-year-olds go in lane 0, lane 1, lane 3, lane 5, and lane 8, with 15-year-olds side by side. Isaac Dodds and Oscar Prizeman in 6 and 7, both in the same age category. Approaching halfway now. Bailey Hersey definitely has quicker in him than his entry time. Personal best, 8 minutes 30.97. Enters on 8:38.15, has gone 8:37 this year. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of time he can produce from the centre lane of this heat. Currently going in 2nd, Joseph Sadler of Novus Churium. And actually, he's really starting to pull in line now with the leader. Fellow Nova teammate Joseph Kingsland doing quite nicely as well. We are only on heat 6, of course, of these 800s. There are 9 heats altogether, the 9th of which will be swum tonight as part of the evening session. And you can join us for that from 5 p.m. this evening. 5 p.m. either right here in Glasgow or on YouTube. British Swimming YouTube channel, obviously streaming all of the events across the 6 days of the British Championships. Of course, I said once or twice, especially during these longer events, but if you do want to get in touch, do want me to say anything, then the hashtag you need, of course, is SummerChamps19. Hashtag SummerChamps19. And I'll get your message. Of course, that competition still open as well. How many miles did the swimmers swim all together if you add up the distance of all of the heats this morning up until the relay? That's the total number of miles. Put it in a tweet, send it to hashtag SummerChamps19, and you could be in with the chance of winning. As the bells start to ring, we're just trying to work out. We've seen a lovely banner on the far side of the pool, which is being rapidly waved over there. Says go Joseph on it. As these swimmers approach now the final few meters, and go Joseph indeed. Joseph Sadler in lane number 1, now really starting to push through. Swimming in the 16 years age group, representing Nova Centurion here. He's held back throughout this race, but is really starting to push forward now in the final few meters, 15 meters to go, and he has pretty much straight arms as he comes in to the flags, head down into the finish, and 8:28.37 is the time for him. Fantastic swim. 8:41 was his PB before this, so he's taken over 10 seconds off that. Bailey Haresine for City of Manchester in 4. He comes second, and he goes underneath his PB as well. Great job from him. Joseph Kingsland coming in third, 8:31.64. Also a personal best from him too, which is lovely to see. Loads of PBs coming out of these boys, especially in the longer distance events such as the 800. So pleased to see the top 3 swimmers all achieving personal bests in heat number 6, allowing us to move on to heat number 7. Heat number 7 then of the men's 800 meters freestyle. Lane 0, Max Adams, City of Salford. Lane 1, Liam McLaughlin of Warren de Barbs. In lane number 2, Daniel Marotta of City of Swansea Aquatics. Lane 3 is Jackson O'Rourke of Northampton. Lane 4 is Daniel Donovan of Guildford City. In lane 5, Ben Newell of Didcot and Barramundi. In lane 6, Charlie Langford for Thanet Swim. In 7, Pietro Falconi for Portsmouth North Sea. Lane 8 is Jevon Penny for Northampton. And lane 9 is Jack Munsey from Perth. You will notice certain clubs that are a little bit more prevalent in the longer distances. Of course, a swimming club would have to tailor its program that little bit more towards those swimmers who are achieving those longer distances. And of course, longer distance swimmers need to put a lot more training in, need to swim far more meters than sprinters do. These swimmers are a little bit more evenly matched. I was saying about the meters, some of these swimmers will be putting in, in fact, most of these swimmers probably putting in 50,000 meters a week, which is a lot of swimming, a lot of looking at a black line. People do say you have to be a little bit crazy to be a swimmer. And as a swimmer, I agree. 300 metres in then. Liam McLaughlin leading at the moment for Warren de Barbs, but not a lot separating these lads at the moment. Max Adams, the only 15-year-old in this race, he's in lane 0. And then the 17 years, 18 years race is taking place in 1, 2 and 3. Then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, they're all 16-year-olds. So, as you, the audience, and you on the stream are looking at it, the top six lanes are in one race. Then the next closest 4 lanes are in another. And then one single 15-year-old racing the 15-year-olds that have come before him. And there are no 15-year-olds to come after him. Daniel Marotta now in the lead in lane 2. Coming up to 600 metres. Marotta 0.43 ahead of his next closest competitor. That's Pietro Falconi, of course, as I said once or twice. Separate age groups. So really, Pietro Falconi winning within his own race. Shouts from the coaches as they pass where they're all stood on poolside, urging them on, telling them that they can give that little bit more. Several of the swimmers there having a double check of the place cards that the officials helpfully hold for them to let them know how many lengths are remaining. And the answer to that question was 3 at that end. It is 2 at this end, and that is signified by the bells that are about to start ringing. First of which, this is going to be for Daniel Donovan of lane 4, who started to really come through now. In fact, all these swimmers very close together, so lots of bells going at the same time here as Daniel Donovan starts to pick up the pace on this last 100 metres. But whilst he does that, so does Pietro Falconi in lane 7. As I said, a straight race between lanes 9 through to 4. So all of those on the top half of your screen, or the top half of the pool as you look at it, they are all racing each other. Daniel Donovan seems to have played this pretty well then. Although, really putting on a last-minute sprint in lane 0, 1 and 2 as well. In fact, they're going really quick Liam McLaughlin really putting on a sprint in 1, so Daniel Marotta in 2. He was an early leader, Marotta, but dropped back by quite a way, and in the end, Daniel Donovan is going to win this by quite a margin. What's the time? 8:27.63 is the time. Personal best for him. Coming in second, Pietro Vicconi, 8:32.62. Also setting a personal best, Liam McLaughlin in lane 1, 8:32.64. Again, personal best. PBs all round, at least in the top 3 in heat number 7. Which leads us on nicely to heat number 8. Well into heat 8 of the 800 freestyle. This is the last one in this little session that we have going on here. We will be back with heat 9 at the start of the finals session, and that'll be 5 o'clock tonight. So join us from 5 for the finals. From wherever you are in the world, or streamed for your enjoyment on the British Swimming YouTube channel. And if you are watching anywhere interesting, please do let us know. Hashtag SummerChamps19. To be fair, I'd usually say anywhere hot, but from what I gather, most of the country absolutely roasting. Of course, here we are in Glasgow, so Glasgow's idea of roasting may be a little bit different to other areas. It is raining outside, I believe. Never mind though, we have some swimming. We don't mind about that too much. Swimmers can't complain about getting wet in the rain now, can they? So, in lane 0, Alice Stanhope for Royal Tunbridge Wells. In 1, Miles Robinson Young for the City of Peterborough. Lane 2 is Daniel Johnson for the Royal Wolverhampton School. In 3, Jack Buswell for Northampton. Lane 5 is Archie Plowman for Northampton. In 6, Thomas Beamer for the City of Leicester. Lane 7 is Adam Hall for Tewkesbury. In lane 8, Harley Beeches for Edinburgh University. And lane 9 is Lone Evans for Millfield. Ewan Evans currently leading from lane 9. So maintaining through the halfway point. Johan Evans is in lane 9, taking the early lead. Currently second, Archie Plowman in lane 5. And then a little bit of a gap, and then Adam Hall from Tewkesbury in 7. Two Northampton swimmers. Plowman and Buswell swimming either side of an empty lane. Buswell trailing that little bit behind, but currently in 3rd position. With the two leaders very much Johan Evans and Archie Plowman in this penultimate heat of the men's 1500 metres freestyle. Had really very little between the two swimmers, 1.18, which over a 1500 is not very much at all. Although, of course, Johan Evans in an outside lane, you'd expect the inside lanes to do quicker. The way that gets caught out, though, is Johan Evans set his personal best before the qualifying window for this meet. He did set it this year, just before March, so he's on a time of 8:34.06, but is actually capable of 8:26.77. And that time would almost put him as the quickest seed in this heat, at least, if it wasn't for Miles Robinson-Young in lane 1, who's achieved 8:23.31 before. Less and less between Johan Evans and Archie Plowman at every turn here. Less than a second there. Bell's out already. These guys are really quick. 0.94 between the two there. Both these swimmers, of course, swimming in the same age group. Archie Plowman that little bit older, 18 years of age, whereas Johan Evans 17. Of course, 17, 18 years, one combined age group at the British Summer Championships. Which one's going to get to this wall first? It is going to be tight down this final straight. 0.28 between the two. What have they saved left in the tank for this last length here? "25 metres to go for these two boys. Putting everything they can into these last few metres. Straight on race here to see who is going to be quicker in the 17 years, 18 years age group. Under the 5 metre flag, and I think that Archie Plowman is just about going to get it. On the touch it goes. Yes, he is. 8:20.69. Takes a massive 10 seconds off Archie Plowman's personal best there. Great swim from him. Johan Evans comes in second, 8:20.85. Again, big personal best. 6 seconds off there. And then Thomas Beamer in lane 6 comes in third, 8:20.85. Huge personal best once again. And that concludes this little mini session of 1500s. Thank you very much to our officials, as always, for overseeing proceedings here. We will be back for the finals at 5 p.m. this evening, and I look forward to seeing you all then.